Good evening, welcome to the Dugout. The news fresh off the block. I mean, one came yesterday, Jasprit Bumrah out of the Sri Lanka series. And then the latest addition to that is, it is Auqib Nabi who is replacing Jasprit Bumrah in the squad. That's our focus on the Dugout this evening. The first question that I have for my learned colleagues. So first Jasprit Bumrah was fit, he was passed to play, then he was unfit and he is. So what has happened?
It reminded me of the thing which happened with Hardik Pandya. It was prior to the UK series. Exactly the same thing happened. News came that he's fit, he's passed all the tests, everything looks good. A day later he was ruled out. Same thing happens here. Either some weird alchemy is going on at the COE whereby one day after being declared fit, these guys somehow end up catching an injury, or there is some serious misreporting that is going on from whoever is saying that no, he passed the test, all vitals are good, no problem. One day later, on two separate occasions, I don't understand it.
I think the situation is a little different than that of Hardik, because Hardik had categorically passed the test. You didn't get any report per se that Bumrah had passed the test.
No. There were quotes
that earlier in the week he had gone to the COE, but
wrong. Yes, there was a quote there from an anonymous BCCI source saying that he has gotten the clearance. Those are the exact words.
See, I'll tell you what has happened. So no speculation. I'll tell you what has happened is, it wasn't wrong to say that he had not passed the fitness test. And so because you draw a parallel to Hardik Pandya, it's quite similar and also slightly different. So to that point that Hardik Pandya passed the fitness test and then was not available, the exact same thing has happened in Jasprit Bumrah's case. So as things stand out, Hardik Pandya did pass the fitness test. But he contracted an injury while he was doing that fitness test and later realized that passed the fitness test and playing the match simulation, in that he got injury again. Bumrah, same thing. So Bumrah has passed the fitness test and I think that was the reporting, so that's not incorrect. But the Center of Excellence is the one that is now advised that we suggest you allow Bumrah to skip this so as not to aggravate it or make it worse. And I'll tell you how that has happened is, if you have seen in the recent past, Center of Excellence has come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism, because you get players who pass fitness tests and then they land up, they're playing for India and they get injured again. So it's a case of once bitten, twice shy. There is a distinction that I think is being made at Center of Excellence where they've realized passing a fitness test is one thing. The decision should be allow the player to continue playing after that. I think somewhere Center of Excellence has realized we must be taking that call, and that is exactly what was missing prior to this. So what was the deal? There is a test that is designed for you, you go through the test, you've passed it, you're fit, and what happens? The player goes and plays. But that is what leads to injury. Go back to a Harshit Rana case. He passed the fitness test, but he went and had 2-3 matches, injured again. So it's like if you are coming from an injury, I make an obstacle course and ask you to clear it, you cleared it. So you passed it.
But then
I allow you to go and play.
But then the COE also gives its players, the ones who come for rehab and have passed those tests, they also give the fit to play certificate. And oftentimes we've learned that fit to play certificate is also given. So that fit to play certificate, what does it mean? Not only have you passed the test, but you're good enough to play.
Exactly.
That's the difference then, right? Between passing the test and getting the fit to play certificate.
No, the difference is between passing a test and playing.
No, but then what is the role of the fit to play certificate?
That is what I'm trying to say now. So fit to play is only going to be something that you're trying to replicate in that, but it's still not playing a match, right? What was the other thing that you were doing? You would make them pass tests, but there was a rule that you played domestic matches before you were sent back.
You'd
now
be playing 2 matches in most cases.
Now in the absence of any domestic cricket, what do? I mean, I'll give an example. Asia Cup 2023, I was there in Sri Lanka. KL Rahul was coming back. There was no domestic cricket, as is the rule now. So there are certain rules that have been created. they did 2 match simulations there with the players that were available in the Center of Excellence.
Shreyas Iyer was one of them.
Yes, they played those 2 matches. Once he went through those 2 matches, they allowed him. The same thing you try and do now. But the thing is still, so what is the rule? You do a fitness test. A player passes a fitness test. Then you make him play 1 or 2 matches, and if he's okay, then you allow him to play, right? And that's how he ends up playing. But that may not be what you do permanently. If I am a player, I have gone through a fitness test, I have passed it, maybe I played the 1 or 2 matches also. But there has to be a call after that, na? Maybe the player after playing those 2 matches says I'm feeling a bit of a discomfort. Yeah. But I passed the fitness test.
Because you put him in those match situations.
Correct.
So could it be, or would it be fair to say that Bumrah passed the fitness test but fell short of getting the fit to play certificate?
No, he could have gotten the fit to play certificate also, gone through it. But sometime, that's what I'm trying to say, maybe there is fit to play certificate is let's say you had a situation where the batting coach explained, we look at workload, how many overs he can bowl. Yeah. Let's say he's bowled those many overs that you require him to bowl. So he's fit to play also now. Yeah. But maybe he himself after that has a feeling that no, I don't want to go through there is a bit of hesitancy inside me. I've done that 10 overs on 2 days in a match situation. Yeah. That may be necessary for, or 15 overs in a match situation, but I don't want to go through it. Or it could be the other way around. You've gone through it. After that, you can have a questionnaire. You can ask how you feeling. Is there any numbness, pain? You've done the required thing. You say, yeah, maybe I'm not, feeling 100%. There seems to be certain bit of return of pain. There are so many things. And as I said, now that you've had a few scenarios where you've rushed a few players, 2 that come to my mind are this one, Harshit, as well as Nitish Kumar Reddy, both of whom came from injuries and quickly got injured again. Maybe they've tightened the reins now at the COE saying, no, maybe you need to now have another filter or 2, or maybe you don't know, there's a questionnaire asked that how did you rush him into playing, and he said, listen, we thought there was this thing but the player was keen to play. By the way, this happens, a lot of times when you ask those questions, you also have to rely on the player. If the player says, no, I've done the overs but I'm not feeling 100%, a lot of time players will say, no, I'm 100%, they want to play because they're eager to go play for India. They know the longer I sit out, the more I go away from public memory or the team memory. Competition is real. Yeah. It happens. And players may not then be the best judge because they want to be very quick. They want to do the bare minimum of passing the test and coming back. So maybe now they've put in another additional thing. Maybe someone at the COE said that, listen, we were still a bit hesitant, but the player said, I want to play. So we said, fine, go ahead. Maybe they've been empowered by telling them, listen, no, even if they passed the bare minimum that you asked them, but you have a feeling that he's, pushing himself a bit extra and there could be a thing. You advise that I don't want the player play. Those things would have 100% happened. You think after all these injury issues, it's not happened. And by the way, it's very easy for us to blame the coaching staff as well. I believe the coaching staffs themselves, which includes the coach and everyone else, have been rather upset about what has happened. Imagine you are running a team. You are making your team combination based on X, Y, Z. They come, then they get injured. What do? Your series is gone. That puts the coaching staff's job on the line. You just had a couple of, one member of the coaching staff not wanting to continue. The other we hear doesn't want to continue. You don't know, maybe are these the reasons? That's why I say that in the review meeting, all these things really need to come up to identify what the issue is. There is a bit of a disconnect. I think here the Indian team and people at the COE have decided to err on side of caution. They said, no, it's better not to rush him than to do the same thing that has happened again. Let's not also forget, you're talking about one of the most precious asset that you have in Indian cricket. You don't want to be messing with Jasprit Bumrah's fitness. So, and it's again a series which is going to be important, but and let's cut through the chase. Your chances of making the WTC are next to negligible, right? I know your neck is on the line in Test cricket because of the losses that you've had, but I still think you go in as the favourites. You can't take anything for granted. You go in the favourite. Do you really need to risk a Jasprit Bumrah for this series? Even if you are, I'm not saying 50-50, but even if there is a 10 to 20% doubt in your mind, if I'm Center of Excellence, I'm saying, no boss, I don't want to risk a Jasprit Bumrah. I get him to play this series, plays the 2 test matches, and then he's out for 8-10 months. The 2027 World Cup is out, though that's still more than 8-10 months away, but him coming back right after injury and then being at the best is an issue. You'd want him to be playing in the lead up to that World Cup. Is it a risk worth taking, or do I allow him another couple of months?
I mean, it's a bit similar to say what happened in 2023, right? In fact, not even 2023, 22. You rushed him back for that series against Australia. It was a 5 T20 series at home. Yeah. You rushed him back. He played, I think, 1 or 2 games. Was out of the World Cup, and not just out of the World Cup. After that, he was out for the best part of almost a year. He got back to fitness about a couple of months before the World Cup. He led India in that Island series, if memory serves me, right? And that was a T20 series. That was basically just him getting back into rhythm. Didn't start playing cricket properly until the World Cup. It was very touch and go. Also, if what you're saying is true in the sense that, sometimes the players take a call, I think that's really, it's a bit weird that's still prevalent. Because I go back to other sports whereby even like football, for instance, you note for a fact that if a player is out injured, they have to pass every fitness test available. After that, they'll often end up playing some form of a match. Not necessarily a match, say in the league, Champions League, whatever. They'll play an under-23s game. They'll go out there, play 90 minutes. That happens here too, Shane. Yeah, of course. But
but that's what I'm saying. No, see, it cannot always be 100% foolproof, the system.
True.
See, the system started with initially no fitness tests. There was nothing like center of excellence. Players would do it on their own. And once they are fit, they'll come back. Right? You created a system where center of excellence came. Then used to have fitness tests and players would start playing. You found there were loopholes there. You reached a situation where you said, no, now we need to have them play domestic matches also.
Correct.
They played. In the absence of domestic matches, you created match simulations. They played that. But I'm saying even that is not 100% proof. See, unlike football, I think they take a long time. They're always very conservative before the player comes. They're very conservative. I don't think that happens in Indian cricket. Firstly, the amount of cricket that has been played is insane. Secondly, as I said, players also feel, the need to be there.
Visibility, basically.
Correct. They also feel, no, I'm not playing, what will happen to me? Okay, Bumrah is a different thing. He's always a certainty. Whenever he's fit, he can come. Maybe that is the reason why you can take a decision. Maybe Bumrah can take a decision, I'll miss a Sri Lanka tour. It's easier said than done. You are a Prasidh Krishna, hypothetically. Yeah, you are, even if there's a 60-70% chance you feel you're feeling fit, you'll play. I was like, I'll play, because if I don't know who might come. Gurnoor has come now. Auqib gets a chance today. He does well. I don't know whether I get a chance again. So I understand from players' point of view.
See what happened to Shami. Shami, after 23 World Cup, has barely played for India. 25 Champions Trophy, he was there for a cup of coffee. And the main reason was that long injury layoff made him feel at least out of sight, out of mind. And then it reached a point where people are like, oh, he's very injury prone. Age is getting up there. Let's not pick him.
Yeah. I mean, I've also been seeing a lot of people, talking about the IPL, and in Bumrah's case, specifically, somebody pointed out that he played 13 IPL games. This year, he's played 13 IPL games, and I think he's played 8 games for India in total in the calendar year 2026. But as I said, I will also take that in perspective. Firstly, this was a calendar year where he was injured. You also need to remember that he missed half of the IPL season last time around. He only played half the matches. So, wasn't even available to play. So, it's not that he's not missed the IPL because of injury. He did. And then the other thing is, it's a reality. You can keep saying, oh, why play the IPL and things. The reality is, it's not so easy even for the BCCI to pass on a diktat and the IPL franchise to follow that diktat. Teams will also say, we pay the big buck.
Tried doing that.
Didn't work.
And we all saw how it worked out. See, the thing is, it can't really work out per se, and you can't dictate terms to the IPL franchises. Again, if the IPL is such a burgeoning league and it continues to get better by each passing year, it's because of the success of IPL franchises at the end of the day. So you can't really pressure these franchises, and if you're able to sell the broadcast rights, which will be up for sale next year, last time around was roughly about 50,000 crores. If you're looking at an uptick in that price the next time around and you want to take the league further, it will not happen without the success of the IPL. And for the success of the IPL, teams need to do well. Jasprit Bumrah happens to play for a flagship team as well, one of the very best teams, a legacy team. So there's no way you
Doesn't
can pressure.
matter whichever team. Why will any team want to?
Exactly. I'm just saying, even if you wanted to, the franchise that he plays for, while the rule should apply to all franchises, but I don't think you can even try and do that, because the wheels of the IPL are basically your franchises.
Hello, lest we forget, Varun Chakravarti played the half of last season whilst taking painkillers.
Yeah, he had
Known fact.
fracture.
Known fact.
He had a fracture
Fracture
on
here,
his leg,
he had a toe
on
fracture.
the ankle as well. He had an
Toe.
injury. Toe. So yeah, we've seen that happen.
One is the franchise, and if I'm the franchise, I will want my player to play. So I'm just saying from franchise's point of view. Second is the player also. By the way, people must also realize that players are not the victims here. Players themselves want to play.
Correct.
And just as I keep repeating, just as all of us also desire that we want to be like, if you're a freelancer journalist also, and you do different gigs through the year, and there is one gig in which 40 days you get paid half of what you make in the entire year, and then the remaining 50% is what you make working for the remaining 10 months. Why will you miss those 40 days of the, so on those 40 days you will work saying, no, these 40 days I've given to you. Even if another thing comes by, you'll say, no, I will not, because you do. So when each of us has aspiration and desire, and we want to, how can the players be away from it? It's a reality. It's a reality in football for the longest time, where clubs dictate, and it happens, and I think it will happen in cricket. Cricket cannot be in isolation. And most importantly, people say that why doesn't the BCCI step in? Why doesn't the BCCI take a call? We forget that IPL is also BCCI. A success of IPL is success of BCCI. Where does BCCI get maximum revenues from? From IPL. We've reached a stage where IPL television revenues are higher than Indian cricket revenues.
Exactly.
That's the number one source of revenue. So now, if I'm the BCCI, if the brand value of the IPL goes down, who loses out? The BCCI loses out. Yeah. The BCCI economy now, while Indian cricket gives it back, is primarily now on the IPL, and it is in their best interest to keep the IPL healthy, big stars playing in the IPL, big teams happy in the IPL, which play the big buck. They are now stakeholders. The way the system is, we can sit here and do a moral lecture. And by the way, I say it because, as you know, I don't have a favorite IPL team. So for me, I've always said Indian cricket comes first. But I also have to be a realist, where I have to know who is running Indian cricket in that sense, right? Yes, it started off as Indian cricket supporting the IPL, to now IPL slightly ahead of Indian cricket, and the reality is in 10 years IPL will be supporting Indian cricket quite to a large extent. So this is a reality. Players want to play, teams want them to play, BCCI wants them to play. We can keep fighting the system, we can have a socialist outlook as much as we want, but I often say we live in a capitalist world. This is the reality.
I think it came out in that, while there's been enough proof, and you don't really have to go back to the example that I'm about to cite, but I think in that sting operation that was done on Chetan Sharma, I think an excerpt from that went something like Bumrah taking injections to get fit for the IPL. But while again, everything that we just talked about also points to the eagerness of any player, not just Jasprit Bumrah, I'm wanting to single out over here, but that's the truth about not just him, but so many other players as well, that you do everything, you quite literally are willing to, kill to play in the IPL. Sure. Let's be honest about it. If my 60-day payday is going to be greater than the gross sum of my multiple paydays across the remaining 200 days that India plays cricket, I'm going to take that with both hands. I'm going to take it with all my limbs. Simple as that. Yeah. Who won't take that? An annual retainership, which is now, I think, about 5 CR now, because the A+ category is gone. I think it's at 5.
7.
So 5 or 7, whatever be it, but that's almost half the money that these guys make. All of them are priced upwards of 14 crores or just around in that bracket, and then imagine getting that sort of a payday.
27.
Rishabh Pant was getting 27 crores as a one format player.
He's an outlier per se, but I'm just saying around they were all retained for about 14-15 CR.
Everyone is within the 14 to 18 bracket, exactly. And 20 maybe some are higher. So every one of them, and if you could be a one format India player, Rinku Singh is getting about 18 CR from KKR. He's a one format player.
But see, that's the other thing. We keep cribbing about injuries. The reality is the amount of cricket also these guys play.
correct.
I have kind of established that, see, IPL is something that players want to play, franchises want them to play, BCCI wants them to play. You and I can't do anything. By the way, for people also who I know take pot shots at X player like Bumrah, he plays IPL and this and that, they won't say the same thing for their own IPL franchise if a player plays. So they have an issue and they want Bumrah to put India first simply because he's playing for a franchise that they don't back. Then it's an issue. For if they were fans of that franchise, then they would want their best player to play now, whether with the injections or not. So it becomes very easy to do finger pointing when it is not happening with your own team. As I said, it is a reality, but I think the reality is also about amount of cricket that is happening. Somewhere BCCI also needs to, one thing you have to do, which is also the future of cricket, just as IPL is going to become so powerful. The future is you will need to have different format teams. It is the reality. We keep talking about old players not getting injured, but there was an off season in those days. There was no IPL. Test series also used to happen, far and few between. I remember your one full season, if you're going to Australia, that was your full season. You're playing 5 test matches there. Long, 2 months you would play warm-up games, big gaps in the middle. Nowadays where there is time, your Zimbabwe series you finished in 4 days.
Correct.
3 T20Is in 4 days you finished. So imagine the workload on the players also, and especially the ones that are playing, if not all three though is now next to impossible. Players who are playing 2 formats also, you'll have to find a way, I say this skill-wise also. The way T20 is moving away from ODI, completely different skill set. How T20 has moved away from Test cricket, I'm not even going to get into it, or ODI. Anyway, you will need specific players, because anyone who's good in X format, he may manage in Y, very rare will, but to manage in A, B and C or X, Y and Z, it's not going to happen. So you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Injuries will be less, start having format specific teams, that way the skill level will also be good, injuries will also be limited. Jasprit Bumrah is that rare thing, you want to utilize him everywhere, but then you have to find a way that, for now, if your WTC is done and dusted, do I need him in every test series? Yes, if it's a very prestigious test series, you're playing Australia in Australia, I would want him. England in England, I would want him, how best I can. But free him of T20 cricket completely. Even if it means Asian Games, you go without him. Go without him. I'm okay. I think you've got enough bench strength. I'm saying for ODI cricket also, don't make him play everything now. There's still
more than a year.
More than a year
20
left.
20 matches.
6-8 months before the ODI World Cup, get him into it. You have to manage. What do you do if he is one of those rare all-format players?
That's okay. 6-8 months before the World Cup, he'll be playing. No, IPL will be happening at that
Yeah,
point.
so fine.
Let him play that.
Yeah.
At least he'll be in rhythm.
It's a reality.
You don't need to be playing him in every single bilateral.
While I agree with those points, and I myself have the same belief, but just to be the contrarian over here, let's be honest, Jasprit Bumrah has not been in the best of forms as well of late. So I'm not too sure how much of this away time or downtime really serves him well, because as we've seen, he's mortal too. The whole of last year has been more of a miss than a hit for Jasprit Bumrah.
But you realize just now, in that series, you lost to England.
Yeah.
Bumrah wasn't there, you saw the difference. Even now.
And that's why I'm saying the thing is, see, you need him to play as well. That's also the need of the hour, because not only in the IPL, I won't say a 15-year-old took him to the cleaners, because that 15-year-old took everyone to the cleaners. But we saw how Jasprit Bumrah was off the target. He wasn't quite hitting his straps the way that you expect him to. And in other competitions as well, yes, you had a good version of him in the in the T20 World Cup, but everywhere else besides that, it's been more misses than hits for Jasprit Bumrah. So you begin to question, with more downtime and more recovery and rehab happening for him, is he losing the touch also?
No, it is. I mean, see, again, maybe because of not so much downtime, but I think it's more to do with injuries.
Rehab,
Yeah, that he doesn't. But again, as I said, once he's on top of his game, we saw that in England. He's needed, which is why I'm saying reduce the amount of workload.
My fear is when, again, you can probably still get a good result out of the Asian Games without him. But I'm not too sure with the kind of situations that you found yourselves in, and I can count multiple of those in big tournaments where if it wasn't for Jasprit Bumrah, you wouldn't have won those matches or probably progressed.
So that's what I'm saying. Keep him only for that.
Yeah, then you
Keep him only for that. I mean, when I say only for that, not only during that tournament, in the lead up to that tournament, he gets the combination right and he plays. That's the only way you can do. Or relieve him of a format or two.
And the good news is that the player who's replacing him, he barely played the IPL. Auqib Nabi.
Yeah.
And he's actually a proper test player. That's at least one good thing.
No, I'm happy that he's gotten a chance
Finally.
in Test match cricket.
He should have gotten it earlier. Yeah, Afghanistan, you didn't select him.
No, I agree, but I mean, it's better late than never. He's back. And a lot of people I know judged him based on T20 performances in the IPL, but they tend to forget that he's came into the scheme of things because of red ball cricket.
Exactly.
So happy that he will be there. Having said that, I doubt he'll get a chance to play. It's unlikely with the kind of squad that you're taking. Most likely you will play two fast bowlers. It's going to be Siraj and Prasidh. If not that, maybe I think Gurnoor gets a chance, but that is going to be your fast bowling attack. But I just hope they keep him in the scheme of things. At least he's gone there, and for him also big confidence booster. Yeah, you keep doing the hard yards in domestic cricket, then don't get picked in the squad. Now I'm happy he gets picked in the squad. At least he knows that okay, I'm doing something right. I've been rewarded. He shouldn't be made to feel like Anshul Kamboj, who also came on the back of some good domestic performances. Plays that one Test match in England where he was injured. Obviously could not give his best, but we've forgotten about him.
Totally forgotten.
He was the next in line. You've forgotten about Anshul Kamboj in the Test scheme of things. So this is what happens in Indian cricket. Now go back to that injury thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who's injured doesn't want to stay in the injured bench for long, especially when he's in demand or he thinks he can make the team. He just passes the test. He says, "I'm ready, sir.
Strike when the iron's hot."
Yeah,
basically.
I'll go. And he pushes himself. And because he's not healed completely, he's passed the fitness test. He'll play a few games also. The injury comes back. That's the problem.
I agree.
Okay, have you got a few questions?
Also, another reason for you to be looking at Auqib is you've got a couple of those tests coming up in New Zealand as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Those are conditions he will relish. That's not to say that he's only a condition-specific bowler, because in India you don't get those kind of conditions at all, and even then he picked up 55 odd wickets in the Ranji Trophy season. So yeah, you've got to be keeping him in the scheme of things. It was unjust for you to let go of him and not announce him without any clarification per se in the Afghanistan series, but you've got to be keeping him in the fold.
Yeah.
And especially after he did so well, I remember in that Sri Lanka A series,
Yeah.
he was there, he had done good. So it's actually nice that they've rewarded not just him but even a Saransh for what they did, because then at least that's a consistency type thing that, okay, listen, play good in domestic, if we get an A chance, do well there. Who knows? You get a chance for the India side as well, eventually.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Mr. Raja. He says, hope Nabi gets to play. Gigi Mama, please. No, I doubt.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah. Siraj will definitely play, and I think Prasidh. I think these
Siraj,
are your
Prasidh,
two.
and you've got to be going with then 3 spinners.
He'll get a chance if somebody gets injured.
It is entirely
I
possible.
just hope that, I don't know if they want now, because Gurnoor's also got the experience. Gurnoor will play ahead of him.
No, he's all three of them are ahead of him.
Yeah, because Gurnoor has been playing for India recently. Lest we forget, this is not the same team management, but we also saw Mukesh Kumar become an all-format player in less than a year. All-format player.
Who is Akash? He was still injured.
Yes, he's still injured.
Yeah.
He's still injured.
Otherwise, he should have been.
He should have been there. I agree.
Red ball.
Red ball, he should be your third or fourth choice easily. But yeah, he's still injured. That's the issue. Sridhar says, Auqib has a legacy to live up to. Stepping into the Jasprit Bumrah role, should quickly adjust to the Sri Lanka environment and start delivering. I mean, he's shown that he can do well there. Will he get a chance here?
And he's stepping into Jasprit Bumrah role. Siraj would have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
leader of the pack.
Also, one thing we've seen, Siraj tends to perform much better when Bumrah is not there.
Yes.
Much better.
And the one thing which again is an attribute that the team really likes, the management, batting. Auqib Nabi is a very good lower order bat as well.
Still don't think he gets a chance.
Yes, very
But he is a good batter. I agree. He's a proper all-rounder.
He is somebody you
not
can
a bits
rely
and
on.
pieces.
So
player.
if that is their love for all-rounders so much, who knows?
Him and Saransh both
sit out.
Him and Saransh both get to play. Entirely possible.
For
He's
the
more
batting.
than he's very, very promising, as we know.
No, I know. He's a good
Yeah,
batter.
he's a proper batter.
And he, in fact, he also preaches that sort of a thing where he wants people like him and others around him to be able to contribute with the bat. He really values that lower order batter position.
Yeah. Amit Sharma talks about Jasprit Bumrah saying will be ready for IPL duty. But as I said, I know people say that. But why wouldn't he want to be ready for IPL?
14 matches and getting paid 18 crores. Sure. 16, 17 at most.
By the way, as I said, not this season. Last season he missed half the season. Wasn't ready in time for IPL duty. You have no control over injuries, sir.
Correct.
That is the reality as well. Okay. On that note, we'll take your leave today because we've had a very condensed and shortened dugout. But so be it. But that doesn't mean that there's not another show coming your way. There's Football Unfiltered. So what time is that?
That will be coming their way by around 5:30
8 o'clock.
or 8 o'clock after the dugout. Yeah.
Obviously, 5:30 is gone
5:30
by.
is gone by. Yeah, my bad. My watches are doing me wrong.
Yeah. Where's your coffee?
Okay.
No coffee.
Right then, 8 o'clock is the show that some of you wait for.
Yeah. They have been, especially given the newsy week in football that we've had, both in Indian football and global
abroad.
football. Two
There's
very
some
big
crazy
talking
stuff
points.
happening.
So yeah,
Okay then, see you then. For the moment, from Harshit Chen and I, take care. Bye bye.
bye.
Won't say Nandri Vadakkam. That
Still to come.
after
Still to come.
Unfiltered.
Yeah.